Tension builds, excitement builds here at Spa. Welcome along, everybody, to the Total 24 Hours of Spa. 63 cars on the grid. Half of Belgium, I think, is there as well. It is, as ever, a very packed grid indeed, not only of cars but people, and we are looking forward to what promises to be another fabulous race in the long history of the Spa 24 Hours. This is the 70th edition. Much celebration of this milestone event, and let's see who comes out on top. Let's catch up with who is where in the championships, because coming into this race, and bear in mind you score points at the 6-hour and the 12-hour mark, as well as at the end of the race, it is Audi number 1 that has been looking very strong thus far. Dries Vanthoor, Alex Riberas and Christopher Mies, the winners at Monza, are the championship leaders, ahead of the Paul Ricard winners, Marco Seefried, Christian Klein and Albert Costa. Adam Christodoulou is third with Raffaele Marciello. Adam, incidentally, feeling a bit worse for wear after a fiery incident here last week. Adam, get well soon. Now, if you take endurance and sprint together, this is what it looks like. Alex Riberas and Christopher Mies ahead of Dries Vanthoor. Then Raffaele Marciello next up. Kelvin van der Linde from Steijn-Schothorst. Michael Meadows is ahead of Christian Engelhardt and Mirko Bortolotti, with Stuart Leonard from the Audi squad on the same number of points. He's had different co-drivers, so he's got Will Stevens, his normal co-driver, just fractionally behind him. Now, Maxime Martin starts on pole position. David Addison here trackside. On the grid, as ever, is John Watson.
Maxime, pole position here for the 70th iteration of the Spa 24 Hours.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's great to be on pole position, especially for a Belgian driver. It's always special. It's the last big race of the car, last 24 hours of this model. So to be on pole here, it's just great for everybody, for the team, for me, for everybody. So yeah, looking forward. It's a long race. We know it's. Starting from pole, from P20, doesn't really make a big difference, but I mean, it's always better, and we see how we can go.
Maxime Martin inherited pole position. The time was done by Dries Vanthoor, but his Audi put to 19th on the grid, because when it was scrutineered after Superpole yesterday, it was found to have contravened the regulations, all to do with a pipe in the air inlet track, and it had been taped up rather than pipes clipped together, and that tape meant that it was sealed, it was drawing in cool air from outside, and that was against the regulations. And so the scrutineers reported it to the stewards. They took away the times, and the car starts 19th on the grid, but also gets a 3-minute stop and go penalty to be served at the discretion of the race director. So it's a double whammy. Let's have a look at who is going to start where as best we can with such an enormous field. Maxime Martin is going to be on pole position, having inherited that after the exclusion of Dries Vanthoor from Superpole. René Rast will start alongside him. On the second row of the grid, Miguel Molina will start the Ferrari, and alongside in the Audi there from Land, that is Kelvin van der Linde at the wheel. The third row, Ben Barnicoat in the McLaren, up against the pit wall, and alongside is Fred Vervisch for Santilok in the Audi. Row 4, the Valkenhorst BMW, Philip Eng will go first, and it's Mirko Bortolotti alongside him. Go back a further row, you get Bentley number 8, Maxime Soulet, and alongside him is the Mercedes of Maro Engel. The 6th row, Alexander Sims in BMW 99, and DTM star Jamie Greed for Attempto Racing there in the Audi. The 7th row of the grid, another DTM star, Gary Pappett in the yellow Mercedes, and alongside him is Franck Pereira. Row 8, Earl Bamber, Le Mans winner for Porsche, he will drive for Timo Bernhardt's squad, and Marcel Fassler is alongside. The 9th row, Christian Klein and Dirk Werner in 911. They get themselves into the 2x2 Noah's Ark style formation, ready for the rolling start. It is the biggest GT3 race in the world. It's the 70th running of the Total 24 Hours of Spa. At any second now, it will be go, because already, look, René Rast is ahead of the pole-sitting car as we go racing. René Rast it is that takes the advantage downhill for the first time. Maxime Martin slots in behind him as now they climb up the other side. Miguel Molina losing a little bit of ground away from the grid as well. But René Rast it is for Audi, who storms through everybody. So far, so good, drama-free, coming out of a Rouge Bentley 7, keeping out of trouble by starting from the pit lane. Now the blast up the Camel Straight for the first time, and the grunt and go Aston Martin fights back on the outside line. Maxime Martin tries to go around the outside of René Rast. He gets run up the curve and he can't find a way by. Kelvin van der Linde's car is next in the queue. The Land Audi third ahead of the Ferrari of Miguel Molina. We are underway.
I thought René Rast might have been a bit ambitious with that start. I thought he maybe had backed off marginally going into Eau Rouge. I thought he might concede the lead back to Maxime Martin, but of course there's pressure from traffic from behind. So the race is the race we see right now, and it'll be up to Maxime Martin to make up for that loss of pole position once we get through the halfway of this first lap.
And people already asking whether René Rast went before the start, so the race officials will have a look at it as you ride on board with the number 911, Porsche 911, downhill for the first time. That is a car that had a grid drop because of Romain Dumas accruing 2 behavioural warning points at Paul Ricard and another 2 here for speeding in the pit lane. So it was a grid drop for 911 as the cars wriggle their way for the first time then up towards pit path. Dirk Werner starting in 911, but up front then it is René Rast in the lead. Was it an anticipatory start or was it just a really good start? Discuss.
To me, it's always the car in pole position that should control the field of cars to the point where the Belgian national flag, that is how this race started. It wasn't lights going out. René Rast got ahead. I do think he did try to back out of it, but the message didn't clearly get through. So he is now leading the race. If there is going to be an investigation into the start, he's just got to get on with the job he's doing right now. Well, there we see the safety car.
That's the chase car, I think, which is still chasing. We'll try and bail out of the way now, so that's okay. That's in the pit lane, but that was a little bit touch and go as far as the leaders were concerned.
Confusing to me, because all of a sudden, what's it doing here?
Yeah, exactly. So it's chased and nearly being caught. So that shows you how quick
in the pit lane already.
That's number 1 Audi, isn't it? Serving its 3-minute stop and go penalty.
Immediately doing it.
So get it out of the way now. So Dries Van Toor's car, with at the moment the man behind the wheel being Christopher Mies, comes in, gets it out of the way. Now the danger is it will drop a lap straight off.
Pass down the inside into Pujols. Are going to work side by side for the 2 Mercedes as the 90 managed to make it stick. It should have done by being in the inside, but no, it hasn't. It's an interesting manoeuvre. Thought maybe the inside line you'd have got the speed off the corner, but 35 had the pace being naturally that little bit quicker than the exit of Pujols. Oh, that was very scary coming over the top of Raddy on the Nissan. Trying to make a pass, got sideways, and look at Raffaele Marcello. Alex Buncombe got him hard on the mouth moment there. Marcello ready to pounce, goes one way, up the inside. Will he be late on the brakes? Will Buncombe concede? I think he did do it because he knew he hadn't got the speed at the end of the straight. The consequence was, whatever happened as he came over Raddy on the car, got all squirrely, and that was a handful of one way, the other way. Oh, tank slapper in our parlance.
Through the traffic now comes the 9th place Alexander Sims BMW, Maxime Soulet, who celebrated his 35th birthday on Thursday. He is right up behind him. The leaders still 0.6 between them, go over the timing line. Soulet staring at the back of the Sims BMW now as they go past the pits.
Got good squirt, BMW, because that was a good exit from Maxime Soulet in the Bentley. And Alexander Sims just lit up the 2 turbos on the BMW, and it just began to use that torque and power it away. But again, look how much quicker we see Maxime Soulet is out of the exit. The traction from the Bentley clearly better than that on the BMW. Now going down into Eau Rouge, he decides wisely to get out of it, position himself then to maybe take an opportunity to make a pass. And Alexander Sims, well, the BMW was riding the curves.
Got away with it, but he's under attack, isn't he now, because that Bentley, the 2nd generation Bentley Continental GT3, looking very powerful indeed. Further back, incidentally, you've got Earl Bamber upper place at the expense of Gary Paffett, so the Porsche up into 14th place. The car's powering up the hill.
Oh, squeeze up the inside, and was that Maxime Soulet, I think it was, getting past Alexander Sim into and through Eau Rouge. That was a very brilliant. There it is, the Bentley is ahead again. It was originally the Bentley ahead of the BMW. Alexander Sims got ahead of Maxime Soulet, but that was a move that began all the way back up at the exit of La Source Hairpin Bend, because that's one of the areas where the Bentley showed great performance advantage in terms of traction and drive off La Source. And Alexander Sims was really powerless to do anything, and he wasn't going to put it to the test to eyeball. Problem for 16. Matt Griffin.
Yeah. So that's the first significant drama of the race, isn't it? Because a punctured tyre, we know Matt Griffin is a charger, but he's not somebody that throws the car at the scenery. So has he run over something that's been dragged onto the track? Either way, time lost early on. Into the pits is René Rast. So René Rast comes in a little bit early, maybe.
Very early.
So again, WRT perhaps trying to get out of sync with everybody else, because if you come in a little bit earlier, you've got a quieter pit lane. Maxime Martin's Aston Martin you saw coming down the pit lane, so he only did one extra lap and comes to the pit road. That's going to put the Ferrari of Miguel Molina into the lead now.
Yeah, and I just wonder whether our Motorsport are just monitoring and following what we saw Audi do by coming in, making that slightly earlier than would be expected pit stop. There is the Audi going through Eau Rouge at race speed. The Aston Martin has yet to appear. It has appeared. He's set the lead. Great stop by our Motorsport again. The Aston turned around and out ahead of the WRT Audi.
Excellent job. So Aston Martin takes over on the stops. Romain Dumas, part of the last winning crew for Porsche in this race. That was back in 2010 when the car was run by BMS Scuderia Italia, but he's about to go a place down if he's not careful, because right in the draft now is Christopher Haase, who is going to try and make the move up towards Les Combes. The Audi is right there behind the Porsche. Does he dive out? Yes, at the last moment. The real estate is clear on the inside, and Christopher Haase gets the job done.
So, with the cars whizzing around the track, I wasn't in for the first hour and a half in the commentary box, and now, please welcome on board Bob Varsha this weekend. How's it been for you? It's fast and furious out there, Bob.
Well, the picture tells the story, Bruce, no question about it. Look at this battle as they head up onto the Kemmel straightaway. It's an absolute bucket list effort for me to come here to my favorite track in the world, Spa-Francorchamps, and watch the greatest GT racing in the world for the first time.
Well, we're 2.5 hours in, Bob, and it looked like the first lap of the race, the first half of the first lap of the race, two abreast in these battles for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th positions, and right in behind, one slip up, and those Porsches in 9th and 10th are going to gobble them up. We've got 6 cars covered by, I would dare say, 2 seconds maximum.
As we go on board the number 25. Whoa!
That's what we call contact with a capital K. Oh, there's the car in 5th place, Michael Aleshin. So he got given the tap up the inside. I think it was by Christopher Haase, who was, no, he's a few places further back, but the loser in that battle, I think it was a bit of a concertina effect. Is there any damage on the back of the car?
Looks like the right rear tire may be down.
Yes, you're absolutely spot on. Good spot there, Bob. So I fear that was nothing to do with Michael Aleshin. I think it was a chain reaction and he got punted up the rear. That is such a shame. Well, let's have a look at the replay. Riding with Christopher Haase in number 25 Santilok Audi. He's behind Phil Keane. Oh, it was a spin, but was there a push from Lukas Stoltz in the number 4 Mercedes? Quite possibly. What we've also seen is the Cuse Team Bernhard Porsche saying, well, here's a moment, I'm going to take it. I'll go around the outside of the Honda NSX. That is a lap down. But when you've got 6 cars running nose to tail, and you have a few back markers in the way, and you're going to a corner sequence like Les Combes at the top of the hill, well, you'd have to say the cards are stacked against everybody getting through. Oh dear, the Oman Racing Aston Martin has had a clatter. You can see, didn't leave the pits with the bonnet looking like that, and the front left wing from driver's point of view. So that is an unfortunate moment indeed. Let's have a look in the background of the shot. Oh, running wide there, the car just simply slipped away. Well, that's actually quite a rare place to go round, and Ewan McKay's not a driver who tends to make mistakes. I think he simply got out, just kissed over the curb, and just the front end just carried on going, and he tried to adjust it, but unfortunately the barriers, well, fortunately the barriers were there to stop its progress. We've got full course yellow, please notice, full course yellow, not just yellow flags for the incident with the Aston Martin. Now, how is this going to pan out? Because, of course, we just had, last time around, the 63 Lamborghini, and that made the pit stop a lap ahead of all the rest of the front runners. The first time we had a full course yellow, the number 29 Audi was the one that had just made the pit stop and went tumbling down to about 20th position. Since then, it's worked its way forward, but that could be a really cruel roll of the dice. There we go, there is the Lamborghini on right hand. The full course yellow has really hurt the 63 Lamborghini, as it did the 29 Audi early in the race. It's cruel. You work so hard to stay where you are.
It's an absolute nightmare.
So, here is the number 8 Bentley. Where is the 62 Aston Martin? I sense that was just going up towards La Source. I think it just came around the top of the corner. So I think we've got the Bentley into the lead of the race. In fact, there is the 62 Aston Martin, and there's a lot of traffic between that one. Don't forget, the car that's been leading the race in effectively the second stint of this race, and now he is in all sorts of trouble. A huge lead now for the Bentley. But here in second place is that number 114 Lexus. Weaving around behind him is Alex Buncombe. They have had a massive benefit, as we saw 2 of the cars tumbling down the order. Well, there is the rolling of the dice. And, oh, well, not surprising, they're very happy indeed at M Sport, chuckling under their hands. They're going, well, that is about as big a gift as you can get.
Flat left rear. Can't tell which car that is.
It's one of the McLarens, and I can't tell you which one. Is it 50? Oh, no, that was the one that was well placed in the race. That's Ben Barnicoat, who started in 12th place overall. And 63 did get contact, so maybe he was the one. to the back of the McLaren. So that's Cordarelli into the back of Barnicot. You can see the front bodywork peeling back. So let's have a look coming up into the hairpin. This is presuming at the moment he hit the back of the McLaren. So far, so good. Oh, okay. It's out of the bus stop, not even as far as last source.
Yep.
What a great replay that was. You can see bits and bobs falling off from the underside of the 63 Lamborghini. Cordarelli, he's got to keep his calm with the car. Looks like it's going to go up on the dolly jacks and be wheeled back in the garage. So I think for now we can remove 63 from the front-running elements of this race. One of the cars that started as the favourite, one of the favourites, certainly the car always good for a top 10, and really in recent years some great results for them. Right now we've still got light, but it's not going to be here for a lot longer. We've got the number 8 Bentley leading the way, a couple of BMWs fighting hard, one from Walkenhorst Motorsport, and on the left the 98 car, Jesse Krohn. Looked as though he'd gained a few positions by the timing of his pit stop. A little bit of that was under full course yellow. That 98 BMW fighting super hard, and it's Philip Eng who's challenger now, just moved ahead in that manoeuvre there. The 34 Walkenhorst car, the one with the blue and the red front end, position gain. Philip, a good record here.
Full course yellow now. The track is damaged between T12 and T13. We have now a repair team on track.
Where does that leave the number 8 Bentley? He's now back into 4th position. Actually, that's pretty good. Ahead of him is Kelvin van der Linde, who I think has now assumed the lead of the race.
Andy Soucek is 3.8 seconds behind Ricky Cartwright, who's
okay, I've got an answer.
19.9 seconds behind Kelvin van der Linde.
Sorry, John, what I got an answer that was Jules Gounon going past Matt Parry. And don't forget the 23 Nissan that's just been demoted was the one that, through circumstance, found itself up into 3rd, became 2nd place, but Parry now fighting. But the Gounon car is on the move. We've seen it work its way through 2 and a bit timing screens. It's on the front page now, up into 12th place.
On board in the Porsche. Oh, look at getting on the 911 Porsche, goes up alongside the 117, but I think he might have been out of position. So down the hill, let's listen and see what happens. Is anybody going to be courageous enough to try and go through here flat with a load of cars ahead of you? Well, there it is. The pass was made, very, very tight indeed, and that was Laurens van Voor using every ounce of knowledge of Spa-Francorchamps. But did he maintain them? I think that the 911 Porsche has picked up the momentum because Laurens van Voor was so committed he didn't carry the speed over the top of radio. So now you've got the 2 Porsches side by side. Who's going to come out of the first part of Lake Coombe? It should be. Is it going to be? Well, where is Laurens van Voor? Is he up the inside? If he is, he's going to get squeezed because there's no room for him any longer.
John, let's enjoy this riding on board in the 911. This is the site of Romain Dumas. He's the one who goes to the outside line. This is La Source. Down the hill they go. Nissan just in front of them.
There we are.
This is yours, John.
911 on the inside, 117 on the outside, down the hill, side by side. And this is going to be one of those periods in motor racing you wonder, well, where, we got through it, but obviously, look at him, I mean, aggressive over the top. Matt Parry, I think it was, no, maybe it was the 22 Nissan, I'm not sure. Over the curb, I mean, just like riding a bronking, whatever you want to call it. So where has Laurens van Voor gone to? Because this is on board with Romain Dumas. There he is. Oh, we came round there. Wow, we never saw that, but didn't pick it up, certainly, in real time. And there, Laurens van Voor did a sterling job. I mean, that was local knowledge, using it to the maximum.
As we are now at 160 laps, number 8 Bentley is still the race leader from 34 and 98, the BMWs in 2nd and 3rd. Number 4 Mercedes right in their wheel track still. BMW with 3 cars in the top 5. Best Porsche is 117, that's Earl Bamber. He's in the top 6, and the 2nd Bentley that started from the pit lane in 7th place. Best of the Aston Martins is the number 76 car, that is in 8th. Number 8 is in the pit lane, and they may have an issue. This is, I think, an early stop because the car's going back into the garage, but this is not where they expect to be.
Full course yellow in 20 seconds.
Full course yellow in 20 seconds. Okay, so car 114, and that is at Eau Rouge. Okay, so he has gone off at Eau Rouge and has not made it up the hill. There he is.
5, 4,
and that is Emil Frey Racing, and that is their Lexus. That is a very big accident. Driver's door is open, which is very good news. It was in 21st place, 114.
Stefan Ortelli in the Lexus, yeah.
It was at Ortelli, was it? Okay. So the 98 Le Mans winner. That is a big accident. But, oh! Timo Bernhardt's Porsche lunged from behind, almost got turned around. And that was by Alex Sims or Stephen Kane. So there's Sims.
Yeah,
and there's 117. Who's 19 in the middle of that is the Lamborghini.
Full course yellow in 20 seconds.
And we're going full course yellow. And a big crash at Rédillon. That is the exit of Eau Rouge.
Very early
Contact on the way in. And that is 666. So is Schneider stopping? No, he's not. Well, there's 666. And the safety crews are working with him.
Red flag, all cars to enter the pit lane.
Okay.
All cars to enter the pit
So
lane.
here's the Eau Rouge view of that. That's not a Bentley that made contact. That looked like a Ferrari.
Yeah, I think the tracking is incorrect.
So the car is sort of spinning there and drags its nose around. I think that is a Ferrari, and I think that's a green Ferrari.
It's got a green nose.
Yeah.
Green flag, green flag.
And we go green now after nearly 2 hours of no racing. 34 BMW pulls out of the final corner and away he goes. Chasing him across the line, the number 4 Mercedes of Jelmer Berman in second place was 2.3 seconds back. And as they get to the line, that gap will remain roughly the same. Third is Danny Juncadella in the 88th car. Fourth is the number 25 car of Frederick Vervisch, the best of the Audis. On board again with Lawrence Vanthoor, carving his way in traffic.
Fastest lap of the race.
Wow, Van der Linde absolutely flying. And that's the Ombra Racing Lamborghini. And this is Lawrence Vanthoor carving his way through traffic now. Watch the gap to the car in front. Wow, Gounon in front with Katzberg 0.4 of a second behind him. So we're looking for Jules Gounon in the number 7 Bentley. He's got Nicky Katzberg's 99 BMW right behind him. That's 23. That is Matt Parry. We're on board with Lawrence Vanthoor. And Vanthoor was in front of Parry, so he's just been jumped by Matt Parry in traffic and now goes back in front of him.
Yep.
So that is the battle for 7th, live there. Parry had just gone by, and as we cut back to Lawrence Vanthoor, he just found his way back in front of him.
That's a change
for 5th.
He's done it. Down the inside into Le Com.
2 laps ago, Juncadella was passed by Nicky Katzberg for 4th, and now Lawrence Vanthoor has gone by him for 5th. And how far away is Matt Parry? 11 seconds back in the 23 Nissan.
Oh, he's lost the rear.
Oh, yikes. Oh, and was that a dive plane coming off or somebody else's dive plane?
Something fell off, but I didn't think there was contact. And it was very, very close between him and Juncadella, and now Vanthoor's got to do it all again.
No, there wasn't contact.
No
it's somebody
contact.
else's debris. Yeah, it was there already.
There, yeah. You don't see pro drivers doing that very often. We were talking about the Porsche being nervous at the rear. He lost the rear very, very easily, and it is so easy to do at that corner.
Oh, now there's the 90 Mercedes, and that has gone off.
Yeah, splitters missing.
So that's Jules Simkowiak. He's looking a little dazed, I have to say. Actually, probably just fatigue. Oh, no. He's got a bit of a...
Oh, he got helped.
Oh, he got shunted from behind.
That may... Oh, that's a big impact into the wall. No wonder he's
wow.
limping. He'd have banged his ankles in the pedal box.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
horrible.
His legs would have been flailing around and whacked against the pedals.
Of car 90 in turn 7, we have heavy damages on the barriers. It will take more than 40 minutes to repair.
we go green once more inside the final 10 hours of the Spa 24, and Christian Cronier jumps away from the field. Jules Gounon in the number 7 Bentley is in second place, a little further back. There he is, trying to come through traffic. Third is Matt Parry in the second of those upright red and white Nissans, just 3 cars further back. Then fourth, number 2, Robin Friens. Fifth, the number 29 Land Motorsport Audi, that's just gone through. And in 6th position is Jelmer Berman in the number 4 Mercedes, with Christopher Haas's 25 Santalok Audi right behind him. So this is the view from on board the Audi.
There's a bit of a wave of a hand there as well to say thank you for letting me pass there.
Yeah,
just to let you know,
so that was just a slower car in the way, and that is the back of Jelmer Berman's car. So this is the battle for 6th position, and Haase had a good run through and breezes up the Kemmel Straight around the outside. Does he get the move done? He has gone through. So right away, immediately away from the gun, Christopher Haase moves up a spot into 6th position, the expensive Jelmer Berman.
Now, Stephen Kane saw the BMW coming close up into the bus stop chicane. Again, sort of all over the back of the Bentley, but Stephen put the Bentley on the right-hand side of the track, compromised his entry in the corner, but that compromise then could be offset by slowing down the BMW deliberately. But again, look, Philippe Eng's going to come. This time, he's done the deal. He's got the BMW up the inside. Stephen Kane, oh, look at the rubber he laid trying to get back. Not much traction control there, but they're almost, well, they're virtually side by side. Who's got the horsepower down the straight? Eng has got just the nose ahead, and this time finally he's got it done. Great racing between these two drivers. Oh, look at that. Oops. 111, that's who's piled into the back of somebody in the 111 Audi.
That's the SRO Motorsport Audi that's been having all sorts of problems in the early stages. At the moment, it's in the hands of Tobias Dauenhauer.
Look at the number 8 Bentley. Puncture left front, and he's just made it into the bus stop chicane, so he's going to get into the pit lane. So number 8 Bentley currently in 22nd position.
Has the Porsche got damage as well? Yes, look, his bodywork at the back is flapping away. So you had one car with frontal damage and one with rear damage.
Let's have a look and see. Well, there we are. The Audi gets it. Oh, look at that. Well, you could never have guessed that was there. But that was the Audi getting into trouble. The Bentley was right up the tail of the Porsche. The Porsche had to take avoiding action. And, I mean, watch on board. Bruce, look at this. Bruce, look at this. Oh, there was contact. The Porsche hit the Audi. That's what caused it to get sideways. Then... Goodness
that is the most dramatic image of the race, and when you see frontal damage you don't think it's happened from a car coming from behind, but that was up, over and down upon the bonnet, if you will. So 3 cars damaged there, full course yellow again, and with good reason, because that is down at Paul Freire curve.
So there you can see the heavy damage in the front of the car. That is, I think, fluid that has come as a result of that contact. Now they're going to go into the front and see where the damage around that radiator and water pipes might be.
How's this for some super slow-mo pit stops? And this is the Walkenhorst BMW, so impressive. In 5th place at the moment. Look at the pit stop times, though. At the standstill, 99 car, 1 hour and 35 minutes in the pits. 34 has just pitted under the safety car. Is that going to be a really good move that moves them back up the order? We'll watch that, John, but minimum time in the pits is a really good recommendation. So that number 4, Black Falcon Mercedes, only 1 hour and 29 in the pits, relative to its rivals, about 5 minutes short.
We go back to Kevin van der Linde.
Well, this is the battle for 4th place, John. He's got Philippe Eng right in underneath.
It seems to be a bit of a trademark of Philippe Eng's technique. We saw him bumping the back of the Bentley earlier on, and now we understand that he's been to the back of this Audi just to let him know he's there.
That was commitment. He really forced the issue big time with Kelvin van der Linde. He got up on the inside, and that is a racer's pass. You know what racer drivers are. That was a racer's pass.
Timo Bernhard, though, that's the signal of a car that's being retired to me by the things. Would it be to you, Bob?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, handshakes to the crew. Oh, well, that is gutting. Because that was the car, the 117 Porsche that was running so well. Earl Bamber, Timo Bernhard, Lawrence Van Tor. And there's the boss trying to motivate the crew, but it's over and out, surely.
Speaking
of car in fourth place, the number Stephen Kane car trickling uphill past the pit, so there's going to be no smiling. So Malcolm Wilson not smiling now, and with good reason. Oh, sorry, it's number 8, not the number 7. So actually, it's bad for the 8 crew, not the number 7 crew. That's down at Eau Rouge. Something clearly not right. The car's come to a halt. There's the sister car running very well in fourth place in the hands of Stephen Kane, just 5 seconds down. And we've got Jules Gounon and Annie Soucek with Dakota.
As you can see, I'm down here in Bentley. I've caught up with the 2 Bentley boys, one from number 8 and one from number 7. Andy, let's do the lows for you. What happened between you and the Porsche?
No, it wasn't with the Porsche actually. It was Lawrence was trying to overtake a lapped car, and I think the guy saw him because he was side by side for 2 corners, and I think the guy just lost the car and he wrecked Lawrence, and I was on the right, and just, you know, I couldn't avoid him. All I knew, I was in the air, and so I felt like a British Airways pilot at that time, and I just landed, and you know, the car was all over the place. The guys did a mega job repairing it because there was a lot of damage, as you can see. It took them 10 minutes, and I ran out of gearbox pressure, but it was because of the massive hit that I got when I landed.
Such a shame. Okay, Jules, on the high point of Bentley, you're doing really well. I think you're in P2 right now. So it's all going well so far.
Yeah, our car is running well. We started from the pit lane, so obviously it was not the best place, but now we see that after a lot of hours, because I don't see them now, but we are P2. At the moment it's still a long way to go, so we still have to be relaxed and go easy for it.
The number 34 car takes the lead of the race, stays there, but the number 7 Bentley coming in from second place. That's dropped it down to 6th. Stephen Kane at the wheel. The race is still on. 5 hours and 20 minutes remaining. Plenty of racing still to come here for the 70th running of the Spa 24 Hours. Oh, there is a problem. Look at the back rear corner.
Back of the car, something.
You know what I mean?
Difficult. The camera flared. I don't know whether that was smoke or extinguishant. It was blown into the back of the car around the brakes. So the dollies are going under.
It's going back into the garage.
There is a problem, and there is loads of smoke coming from the rear of that number 7 Bentley. So clearly there's some fluid somewhere. Is that a brake issue? Difficult to tell until the car gets...
Well, there's no clear damage other than the tap. The damage... Sorry, that sounds ridiculous. The previous damage on the back of the car. There's nothing new that we can see. So, been all calm for many hours at M Sport, and suddenly had to repair the number 8 car. That's then faulted straight after and gone out of the race. And the number 7 car, the one that was better placed, was running in 2nd and 3rd positions. Came in for the pit stop, and that is a big delay, I'm afraid.
There is the race leader, the McLaren, in the middle, and then we've got the second place BMW, Nicky Katzberg.
2 hours, 39 minutes and change, or consider it 159 minutes. Divide by the 65-minute stint length, and you can plot your own pit strategy.
Land Motorsports coming in for the final pit stop for the 29 car. I thought they had a joker pit stop to play. We have been told they do not. So any chance of overhauling the 25 Audi for the final place on the podium looks to be escaping, but we have an hour of racing remaining. Let's see which one will get that bottom step, because it does look as though the top 2 steps on the podium here in 2018 in the Spa 24 Hours are going to be occupied by BMW crews. So Kelvin van der Linde comes in, looks like he's going to stay on board for the remainder of the race. Don't forget, this allegedly is one that has served all of its joker. It has served its joker pit stop, cannot have one now. It has to be at the mandatory pit stop minimum time of 112 seconds from pit in to pit out. No advantage to be gained. They will have to have the car at a standstill and be counted down to the minimum time that it's allowed to be at a standstill. And only then will it go back into the race. It's been an exciting chase. Fred Vervies hunting down,
slowing
but we
down,
could.
Look, he was overtaken by the Lexus just a second ago, coming out of the.
Has he got enough?
Has he got enough fuel to get back to the pits? So Alexander Sims way off track, but where has the Audi dropped back to? Is barely there. It is crawling up the hill.
Going into Blanchimont only now. It doesn't look as though he's got any power in there. Oh my golly, for Santalot Racing, last year's winner, looking good for a podium position this year. There was a question. Well, no problem at all for the 99 car from second place. Alexander Sims brings that in. Doesn't matter how far behind he is, and everybody is going past Fred Vervies, but he's still going. He's obviously just either got a problem or simple lack of fuel, but it fired itself up again. He was coasting up the hill to Blancpain. He should now get into the pit lane, but it's a very, very tight entry. The car was third, still third, and as the 99 BMW comes to a stop in the background, into the pit lane comes the Santilot car. It's got to come up, its garage is closer to pit exit. It's got to come past the BMW. Has it enough gas in the tank? Send the race leader in. They followed your command, John. Making their way slowly down for their final pit stop, going past the cameraman there.
So is this
just have to keep it clean.
I assume they're going to keep Philippe Eng in the car. That's what the door has been opened, and that's just, there will be refreshment bottles in there, so somebody will reach in and change that. But it looks like Philippe Eng is going to stay behind the wheel. He's done a brilliant job.
And a car that could have won this race, 29 Audi, running in 4th place at the moment, still in the hand of Kelvin van der Linde. These rolls of the dice, they really, really are keeping us on our toes. Sometimes quite hard to read the pattern. I get ahead of myself thinking, has someone got a different tactic? But with the minimum pit stop time, stint time, it does rather stay their hands. We're just trying to do the maths at the moment. Will this number 4 Mercedes come back out in 3rd? Possibly. We'll do the maths. I don't think it can quite get to 2nd place, but it's certainly, by taking this different sequence, is giving itself a chance. It was sort of rather hidden in the pile. It was there around, behind the 2 BMWs, behind the 2 Audis. But all good teams tried different things, and it may yet work off. But here, through comes the driver about to go back into the lead of the race.
Just want to see what his first flying lap pace is as the number 4 comes to a halt in the pit lane. So Philippe Eng just about exiting now the bus stop chicane, so accelerating out is the 2nd place BMW, Alexander Sim. The gap between the pair of them will, so that first flying lap, 21.9 for Philippe Eng. He ain't hanging around. Gap between 1st and 2nd is 11.3 seconds. So he's extended the gap. He's extended it. Got down. It was halved to 10 seconds from 20. But that outlap from Philippe Eng, followed by his first flying lap, 2 minutes 21. Here it crosses the line is Alexander Sims, far behind, 10.3 seconds. They matched each other to within a 1/10 of a second. Don't forget though, Bob and John, we had an Aston Martin leading the race. In fact, from pole position, it went into 2nd place. We had an Audi in the front in the first hour. Then Aston Martin hit the front. We've had Bentley at the front. But through the night, on came BMW. Mercedes never quite in the mix. But to have all these manufacturers fighting out for the overall lead in this race, a race that necessarily has ebbs and flow. It has safety car periods and things change. But really, the second half of the race has been all about BMW. They've looked poised, they've looked balanced, and they certainly seem to get good usage of their tyres. In the Pro-Am class, it's the 333 Ferrari running around. Alexander Matschel, the German racer, at the wheel, sitting comfortably in 15th place. 2 positions on the track ahead of the 42 Mercedes. David Fuminelli doing his best, but it is not enough. It's too little, too late. Matching the pace of the Rinaldi Ferrari, but at the moment, Alexander Matschel is doing all he needs to do to take a Pro-Am class win. Number 77 car leading the AM class, as it has been seemingly for the past 36 hours, which isn't bad in a 24-hour race, but it's been a wonderful performance from the number 77 by World Motorsport Huracan. There's the battle right now that's taking place in the silver category, and it's still the 12, the Armour, that has got the advantage.
Yeah, but it's only 1 second. 0.998 of a second is the gap. But there's a car between them. It's the SMP Racing Ferrari. I better not write anything on my notebook just yet about who's going to win the Silver Cup class. This is the closest of the groupings as we go with just 5.5 minutes remaining at the end of the 70th running of the Spa 24 hours.
There, the Walkenhorst team. Oh, it's almost as if each is supporting the other.
Nice photo op.
Absolutely so. And now it's glory time up through Blancpain for the final time, sweeping past cars that are no longer opponents. They are bit part players supporting the main act, and the main act in 2018 has been Walkenhorst Motorsport. It's been BMW as well, but it's been a turning of the tables. It's not Row Racing taking victory. They'll have to make do with 2nd place overall. Sweeping round, straightening up for the final time, going past the sister car from Walkenhorst Motorsport. You can even orchestrate that as well. It's 1-2 for BMW. Look at the flags waving on the wall. He tried his hardest. Alexander Sims pushed all the way to the finish, but he has to accept 2nd place for the 99 crew. In many ways, I think they'll be relieved as well, because the racing was fierce. throughout the first stages of the race, and then it was the run to the finish. Third place will go to an Audi. Don't forget we had an Audi leading from the start of the race. It wasn't this one, it was the number 2 car, but really the most consistent Audi crew has been Land Motorsport. Still relative novices with the Spa 24-hour. Most of their racing has been on other circuits, but a really good run from the Van der Linde brothers and Jeffrey Smith. Third place for them. Let's look at the delight up on the wall. That's going to unfold big time. Henry Walkenhorst right in the thick of it. There he is in the spectacles. He will hug another 100 more people before Parc Fermé has been reached. And let's go down to Tom Blomqvist, who's been joined by Dakota. He's going to have a smile on his face.
Tom, a massive congratulations. You must be so excited to have just won the Spa 24 Hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. You know, this little team has absolutely excelled, I think, anyone's expectations. You know, Christian and Philip, they've done an awesome job the whole week. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're just a tiny little private team, you know, and that focuses on racing around a Nordschleife. And, you know, we've come here, put together a pro car, and we're just going to win the bloody thing. So, yeah, I think it's incredible. Really, I have to say a massive thanks to everyone.
Christian, a massive congratulations. You look strong all the way through the race. Are you happy to be standing here?
Oh, but I'm coming out. Sorry.
Oh, Mr. Walkenhorst has stole my spotlight, clearly. Christian, are you happy to be standing here?
You can guess, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been an amazing weekend for us from start to finish. I couldn't quite believe it, you know, when we were rounding out the last hour and still in the lead, and you're like finally realizing this could be, you know, a win. And for a young team such as this, coming here to Spa 24 as the biggest GT race in the world, I can describe it. It feels so good and it's so deserved for the team.
Here are the results. 511 laps scored and a 10-second margin. That's not much after 24 hours of racing. BMW's 1 and 2 with the 34 Walkenhorst car, top of the pile. The best of the Audis, definitely the best of the Audis through the race. The Land Motorsport car, third place overall with about 16 seconds in hand over the 25 Audi from Santalot Racing. 12 months ago they were winners here, but right in the mix this time around. But the excellence of BMW, particularly in the second half of the race, there was nothing the opponents could do anything about it.
Philip, a massive congratulations. Your second time winning here at Spa. Which one felt better?
Well, both. It's absolutely incredible to be standing here again on this massive grid of talented drivers and teams and manufacturers. I'm just a lucky guy to have had such a good car like our M6 GT3, and my two amazing teammates, legendary.
Hey, brother.
You two are very happy.
I mean, this guy and Christian, they did an outstanding job, and there are so many thoughts in my head right now. I spent 3 hours in the car in one go, so yeah, my mind is a bit down, but I'm super happy for BMW, for everybody in Munich, all engineers, all mechanics. BMW Team Walkenhorst did an outstanding job as well, so congrats to them. And I just want to have a cold drink now.
Let's take a look at the points. How close would you like it at the top of the overall Endurance Cup? Just 1 point is Raffaele Marciello's lead over Maro Engel. Lucas Stoltz tucked it behind with Jelmer Berman. They finished 5th in the race, but Marciello hanging on at the top of the overall cup there. And Philippe Eng moving up into 3rd place overall with Tom Blomqvist. That victory has been massive for them. Lots of extra points for the Spa 24 Hours for the big one. But take the overall points, combined sprint and endurance, and it's the #1 Audi crew of Alex Riberas and Christopher Mies on top of the table. Their car, though, today did not finish at the sharp end of the field. It really had its problems from the outset of the race. Raffaele Marciello, excellence in the sprint and the Endurance Cup, move him into 2nd place overall. Dries van Tor, also in that #1 Audi, didn't come away with the glory this time around. And there are the drivers on the top step of the podium. Tom Blomqvist, Philippe Eng and Christian Cronjes. Christian on the left, Tom in the middle, and Philippe Eng, who brought it home with a triple stint at the end. There is the biggest trophy of all. The winner's trophy for the Spa 24 Hours. Look at the names on that. It's the 70th running of the event. Their name will be the next one on the side of that trophy. wonderful scenes up on the podium. The 70th edition of the Spa 24 Hours is complete. A surprise winner, a 1-2 for BMW, and a lot of delight all around. What a fantastic event it has been this time around.